There's a truth so dangerous, even your priest, teacher, and favorite guru are too afraid to say it aloud. You were never meant to think for yourself. You were bred to obey, to nod, to serve, to sleep. The world you see, it's not real. It's a carefully curated hallucination, a soft, sterile nightmare sold to you as reality. From the moment you could speak, they gave you a name. That name became your cage, a fragile identity carved out of borrowed beliefs, inherited fears, and the expectations of dead men. Your religion was chosen for you, your values inherited, even the way you love, coded by ghosts you never met. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once warned, the individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try it, you will be lonely often and sometimes frightened, but no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself. But do you own yourself? Look deeper. Every thought in your head, every emotion, every desire is a shadow cast by the culture around you. You were never taught how to see. You were trained how to comply. And the most terrifying part? You thought it was love. You thought it was God. You thought it was success. They gave you permission to be a version of yourself they could control. This is the first illusion, identity, the mask that whispers, you are this, you are that. But beneath that mask is silence, and beneath that silence is power. The kind of power that makes others uncomfortable, because a man who owns his mind becomes unpredictable, uncaged, dangerous. But most will never find it. Because to discover it, you must burn down everything you were taught to be. So if you're still here, if your soul hasn't run away screaming, you're beginning to see the cracks. The lies don't work on you like they used to. Your mind is waking up, and the old world is starting to rot in your hands. Good. Let it burn. Let it all burn. They lied to you again. They told you the ego was your strength, your confidence, your pride, your power. But what if I told you it's the most fragile thing you own? The ego is not your soul. It's your mask. And every time you defend it, you are protecting your prison. You think you're becoming stronger, but really, you're just upgrading the cage. You swap religions for ideologies. You swap self-hate for narcissism. You call it awakening, but it's just another illusion dressed in spiritual clothing. What if every breakthrough you've had was just a prettier lock on the same door? Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Trauma isn't just pain, it's programming. It wires your thoughts, your fears, your relationships. It becomes your God, invisible, but worshipped in your decisions. You don't chase success because you're inspired. You chase it because you're running from a ghost. You don't crave love because you're whole. You crave it because you were broken when no one was watching. And here's the cruelest trick. The ego pretends to save you from the very fire it started. The ego dances in the smoke, pretending it's protecting you from the fire it lit. It screams, protect yourself, while sharpening the knife behind your back. You wear masks you forgot were masks. You speak words you didn't choose. You live lives built to impress people you don't even trust. Be honest, if no one was watching, would you still live the same way? You thought you were rising, but it was really sedation in disguise. Crystals, quotes, journals, soft pills for a deeper pain. Most people never awaken. They just redecorate their sleep. But you're not here for comfort. You're here because something in you has begun to burn. Something old. Something real. And now I want you to seal this moment, right here, right now. If you feel that burn, if you feel the cage cracking, type this in the comments, twice. I am reborn. I am reborn. This isn't for views, it's a ritual. A whisper into the algorithm of your mind, a symbol that you're ready to become someone you've never met before. You, the real you, and he's not here to be liked. He's here to be free. They call it growth. They give it nice words, discipline, hustle, purpose. But what if I told you, your grind is just another leash? You think you're evolving, But evolution isn't measured by how early you wake up. It's measured by how deep you're willing to die to everything that isn't truly you. This is the new religion, self-help, the Holy Trinity, productivity, aesthetics, and dopamine. And the devil? Still you, still your broken, aching self, dressed in motivational quotes and overpriced programs. Man does not strive for happiness, Nietzsche said. Only the Englishman does that. Because happiness is just another commodity now, they sold you healing, but made it another goal to chase, another identity to wear, another metric to compare. They told you to become the best version of yourself, but never asked who defined best. They told you to conquer your day, but never taught you how to sit in silence and face your own rage. They gave you morning routines, but no inner rebellion, because that would make you uncontrollable. Understand this. Most self-improvement is just socially accepted self-abandonment. The man who breaks himself to fit into a world of illusions is not improving. He's vanishing. You became a machine. Not because you were weak, but because they made it feel noble to be numb. They replaced your soul with a checklist, your intuition with a habit tracker, your rebellion with routine. And still, you feel hollow. Still, you feel fake. So what are you really chasing? Success or escape? Because somewhere inside, something is screaming, not for more, but for real. Every goal you chase through the grind is just fuel for the wrong fire. The world doesn't need another productive man. It needs a man who's dangerously alive, one who can destroy his false self and walk barefoot through the ruins of who he used to be. If you feel that fire building, then you're not failing. You're waking up, and they will fear you for that. There's a part of you you've never met, because they buried him, deep, under grades, under guilt, under commandments and curriculum, under shame passed down like family heirlooms. That part of you, the wild, brutal, knowing part, he wasn't broken. He was banished. The church called him sin. The school called him disobedient. The therapist called him repressed. But Nietzsche, he called him necessary. One must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star. You've spent your whole life being trained to fear your own depth, to keep your rage polite, to keep your sadness silent, to keep your desire diluted. And when you started waking up, they offered you safe awakenings. Breathe, meditate, manifest, but never descend. Because if you descend, you'll find what they fear. A man who owns his shadow cannot be ruled. A man who sees his darkness stops running from it, and in that stillness, he becomes untouchable. Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But that privilege comes with blood, with mirrors that don't flatter, with truths that don't heal, but cut. Shadow work is not a trend, it's a war, not against others, against the lies inside you. And when you win that war, something happens. The man who emerges is not who they raised. He does not kneel to systems. He does not chase approval. He does not wear masks. He walks like thunder. He speaks like silence. Because when you stop hiding your chaos, others are forced to face theirs. And when others look into his eyes, they see themselves, naked, afraid, exposed. That's why a strong mind terrifies people, not because it dominates, but because it reflects what they've spent a lifetime avoiding. And so I'll leave you with this. You don't build a strong mind by reading more books. You build it by dying, again and again, until only the truth remains. And when it does, you will no longer seek light. You will become it. This world doesn't fear men with answers. It fears men who've died to everything false and rose as fire. As Nietzsche said, he who has a why to live can bear almost any how. But you're not just here to survive, you're here to burn. If you've heard the whisper behind this message, then don't wait. Don't scroll. Don't beg the world to free you. Destroy your cage. Step into the unknown. Face your abyss. And when it stares back, smile like a god reborn. Because it's not the light that saves you. It's the fire that devours every illusion until only truth remains. Now go. Become it. Become who you truly are, and let the world tremble at your existence.